Good morning, everyone. It's Dr. Kathy, and it is May Day. We were talking a little bit about what color would you grab if you were going around the maypole. I heard some pinks and some orange. I'm a blue person. Somebody said purple. It's always fun to think about. What's interesting is just before we started this, I was transcribing a session that we're channeling our Amma's book on relationship, or Amia's book on relationship. And our last session, which was last Monday, we talked about healing in regards to the planet. And the healing teams took us through a particular process. And they said, now everyone who's reading, everyone who's listening, see yourself gathered together and dancing in the earth. And that kind of goes with the May Day of always enjoying things here on May 1st. In the Catholic Church, it is the month of Mary. So I think of it as the month of the Divine Mother, that in May that we are celebrating also the month of the Divine Mother. But it's just a wonderful experience to be here. And we're here even in our pain and our loss and in our joy as we celebrate being in this incarnation and being in this life. So I know that Amma is going to come in, and actually she's going to talk about something that came from a conversation I had earlier with one of our members earlier today. And we're going to see how all of that comes about. And let us begin by moving into our heart source. So for those who are not familiar with the heart source, I'll take you through that. Those familiar, you can also simply say heart source, and you will be in that place. And it is also wonderful just to go in step by step, no matter how long you have been working with the heart source. So bring your attention to the front of your heart chakra there in the center of your chest. And feel yourself go deep within. And now move around into the back. See yourself just almost come out of your body and move around into the back and locate the back of your heart chakra. And bring your awareness deep within. Now, the back of your heart chakra is a very special place. Where can you hide some of your power? Well, where you can't find it. Well, let's go around to the back of the heart chakra and move deep within. You'll go through a tunnel, a hallway, however it is you want to see it. And as you move in deeper and deeper, you will come to a room, an opening where you go into this expansive room, and this is your sacred space. And in your sacred space, we're going to take a moment here. I want you just to imagine, look around, see, sense, feel, hear what's there. Now, when Amma first introduced this area to me, she talked about how this is, you have an altar in here. And everyone's altar is different. It doesn't always look like a stone altar or something you see in church. Some people have an altar, which is just this little table that has all their favorite photographs on there, some with their crystals and flowers and candles. And notice what's around. Although this space is infinite, you can make it seem finite. Mine has, what are those things called? Waterfalls. Has waterfalls all around them. And there's rooms in there, all of those wonderful things. And now, keep staying in the front of your heart center and in the back, go into the front of your third eye, your brow chakra. Allow yourself to move deep within. And now to the back of your brow chakra, moving deep within. There you go. As deep as you can go. And now form an image or see yourself. You can even draw it, a connection between your heart chakra and your third eye. And now send that beam of energy straight up to the center of the universe. It knows where to go. And now all the way down into the center of the earth. It's sometimes easier to imagine that, isn't it? To go into the center of the earth. Be there, enjoy. And now, and this is your heart source, those 7 steps. And now let's expand it. So say, chakras spin as fast as is safe for me. And this is a little cleansing exercise. Deep breaths as you're doing that, and all that energy coming in from above and below is coming into your system, and it is clearing out. It is clearing out your chakras, clearing them out of all of the energy that it's ready to leave now. Deep breaths, exhale. Sometimes you can even hold in your mind the argument I had with someone, the disappointment that I had, the pain that I've had. Can ask to bring in more and more joy into your life. Breathing deeply. And now just allow your energy just to gently return. To return to where it is. Good. An important part of our Sunday ceremony is the healing circle. So I want all of you to, we forgot the healing, or I forgot the healing lecture room. So let us form the healing lecture room. We're all gathered in there. And when I say all, it is anyone who is listening to or reading the transcripts at any time, because there is no time. And in our healing lecture room, there is a floor of light below us, a canopy of light above us, pillars of light in the 4 corners. And then surrounding those 4 corners are angels, archangels. I'm seeing cherubs today. I don't usually see cherubs. Those are the little, looking like little baby angels, the most little delightful little fat-cheeked, laughing cherubic angels. They're gathering. And they surround the perimeter of the room from pillar to pillar to pillar to pillar to pillar. And in the center of our healing lecture room is the central pillar. And coming in to join us in a parade this time to fill that central pillar are many wonderful beings from the other side. Masters and saints and Chohans and elders and anyone that you can imagine. Now, I always like to say what I'm seeing, but you can see something different, very special ones for you. I always see Yeshua and Buddha coming in together. And I'm seeing them gathered around them also are Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, Mary of Magdala, Catherine of Siena, who is my patron saint. Her feast day was a couple of days ago. Think of masters and saints that are important to you. And if you don't see them, call them in. If you're not someone who has that ability to see, and I don't really have the ability to see, I have knowing, the claircognizance that comes in. And here they come. And here comes somebody carrying a banner, 2 somebodies, great big banner, one on one pole and one on the other pole, coming in, and they are laughing. And somebody is bringing in a maypole, laughing and enjoying and having a great time. The joy that we can have, the joy that we can have. Good. And now that everyone is here, you have family members who are joining you. They're surrounding you. They're not in the central pillar. They want to be with you. Family members that have passed on, your own angels and guides, your own healing team. They are there with you. Sometimes it's hard to feel their presence, but know that they are there. And now we are invited to form a healing circle, a huge healing circle, because our angels and guides are joining us. So are those in the central pillar. As people gather together in the healing circle in reverence and in joy, with laughter and with peace. And feel that happening, experience that happening. And let us now invite into the center of the circle all those we are thinking of. Now, we're going to have a second little healing circle where we all get into it. We're going to get in the middle, but this is one where we're going to be giving to those around us. You may unmute if you want to say it out loud. Please feel free.
Bless your passing, Richard.
Anyone else?
I have a long list of names. Glory,
Go right ahead.
Barbara, Richard, Austin, Mason, Leah, Brian, Melissa, Michael, Boy, Donald, Mary, Jenny, and there's so many more, but that'll work. That's good. Thank you.
That's good. Thank you.
My mother, who died 64 years ago, I'd like to bring her. Know that she's here.
She's here. I bring my sister, her children, my nephews, and the grandchildren. I bring my great niece, Sage, my brother, Tom, my father, he's 94, his wife, Sandy, my other siblings, my friend, Barbara, and a safe trip for Barbara and Patty as they go to leave for Ohio on Tuesday to travel at night on the air. They got the red eye to go to Barbara's son's wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're going to be doing that. I place also within the central pillar. Let's see, we got somebody else want to say something?
Yes, I would. I'd like to bring in Cindy, Lee, Teresa, Joyce, Reagan, and Riley.
Wonderful, thank you. And I bring in my friend Joe and his wife Terry.
I'd like to bring in my siblings, myself, and my dear husband who's passed on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bring in my husband, Robert, and all my neighbors in my neighborhood.
May they all come. I'm going to bring in the people in Flagstaff, Arizona, whose homes have been destroyed by the fire out there.
I'd like to bring in. I'd like to bring in Tony, Amanda, Penelope, Robert, Angus, Morgan, and Terry Ann. Thank you.
I'd like to bring in Nick,
Joe, Jessica, Jenna, Austin, my friend Terry and her husband Joe. And I'd like to ask for special blessings upon Kathy because she has a birthday this week.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Thank you. And Jenna, you were starting.
Yes, I'd like to bring in Nick, Larry, Mila, Marie, Denise, Jennifer, Carol, Anthony, Nancy, my sister-in-law who passed, Mary Pat, my brother who passed, Frank, and my friend Adria, and myself.
Thanks. Thank you. I love it when y'all state their names out loud to put them in the circle, but you don't have to state them out loud. You can just place them within the circle because they are there. Anyone else?
Placing my new granddaughter, Margaret Louisa, Maggie Lou. Bless you, Trav and Katie, and bless your new bundle.
New life is so fun and important and delightful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I would like to put in there anyone and everyone who is grieving over the loss of a loved one.
Thank you, Michelle.
I'd like to put in my brother Bob and Karen and Roger and Marvin and Pixie.
Thank you. Was that Alon?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. Anyone else? So now ask your healing teams to chakra spin at the exact vibration needed to bring in the energy to then send out to those in our circle. Breathe deeply. And remember, see yourselves all gathered together on the perimeter of the circle. And Amma and Abba, we join together in asking you to fill each person in our circle, those that are in our hearts, our minds. We ask you to fill them with your love. May they be guided along their path. And may they open their hearts to receiving your love and receive healing in whichever way it is they are in need of healing. Mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. And we thank you that all we need to do is ask, even when what we ask exactly is not always given to us. We trust that you have a plan, that there is this plan. Even though we sometimes get angry at you for that plan, but we thank you. We are in gratitude for you. So again, chakra spin. And you can extend your hands outward either in your mind or right now, sending that loving energy. May it leave your hands and your heart, enveloping each person here. And now relax And each one of you who hasn't already put yourself in the healing circle, step out into the healing circle. Your healing team is staying on the outside of the circle, and you step into the circle. And opening your heart, your mind. And Amma and Abba, we ask you to fill each one of us with your love. You know what it is that we are in most need of. You know where our joys and our hurts are. You know the losses that we have experienced and the gatherings that we have experienced of new life, new members of the family. And we now just simply receive your love. And now a deep breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Offer thanksgiving whichever way you wish. And now you're in the lecture room and your angels and guides have pulled up a chair for you to sit there in the lecture room as the energy of Amma is coming so present in this lecture room. Interesting. I'm being told that let us ask in our parts of the three-dimensional room, which is like my office and your rooms where you are, be it the kitchen or your really special place, the den, the living room, wherever that is. Connect with God as you understand God and ask that all energy that is of not use to you, that is of not of the highest level, we ask that that be cleared now from your space. We ask that any artificial encodements which are there, that they be removed. We ask that any thought forms that are of a low vibration, those can be of any kind of pain, anger, confusion even, that those be removed from our space where we are. And now we ask everything in this room where we are, that it be filled with the highest vibration of love possible. And no, you can do this at any time. You can go through your house and ask that all be cleared of any low vibration energy. When I do it after a session with someone, I usually say, from every molecule, from every book, from every painting or electronics that I have, from every molecule on the wall, every molecule within, every dust particle, I ask that all low vibration energy be removed. And then please fill all of this space with your love. and there. And now ask that your encodement system be aligned to receiving the message that Amma has today. And the next one that you hear from will be Amma the Divine Mother. What a blessed day this is, my precious ones. I am Amma the Divine Mother of the Divine Mothers, and oh, I am your mother. You are so dear to me. Each one of you is as dear to me as if you were the only created being in this world, in this galaxy. That is how much you are loved. And we are going to talk about today, how can you come to feel that love, to have that love within you? How can you come to know how truly you are as love incarnate, and that you are beloved? Everyone who is listening to, seeing, hearing, reading this message, I'm going to tell you that you have no idea how many people love you. You have no idea of how many people think of you with joy, with delight. You have no idea how many people will miss you when it is your time to leave this body. Very few people recognize this. Very few people recognize how loved they are. Bring to mind one person, just one, if you can manage it, that you love so much. Bring within you and get in touch with you that energy of that one person that you send love to. And now combine that love with that you have for another person. And notice how the love grows. There is not a limited amount of love. Now bring in another person that you love. It could be a pet even. And now bring in another. And now just ask that the energy of all of those that you love join together. Ask that all of that love comes to you right now. Allow that love that you have sent out to others. Allow that love to surround you. Step into that love. That love you give to others, step into that love. That love you have given comes back to you. That love you have given is you. And if you can possibly imagine all of that love you have given, is an infinitesimal part of how much you are loved, how much you are appreciated. People will ask, but why do I not feel that love? Why do I not experience that love? Many of you were trained from the time you were very young that it was not safe or holy or right to believe how dearly loved you are. Some people believe it is pride to know how loved you are. There is no pride, hubris, in recognizing how loved you are. We ask you, Abba and myself ask you to open your heart to receiving that love that you are, to receiving the love that we give you. When we created you, when you chose to leave the oneness and become an individual soul, forgetting that you are still connected to that oneness always, you experienced a loss, sort of the loss that a particle of a wave which is left up on the shore feels the loss of being part of that wholeness, even though you were always part. When you came upon this planet, into that little tiny two-celled being, if you entered your body that early, or you may have waited till you entered your body when you were starting to be born, you experience so many things that convince you that you are not loved. Those of you who have been pregnant, remember the latter stages of the pregnancy. Remember how difficult those latter stages, let's say the last 2 months, even the last month were. Because there is that baby or those babies who are growing so much, and you get frustrated and you're ready for them to come. Those of you who became pregnant and weren't expecting that pregnancy, think of your confusion at first. This is not the right time. No, this is not the right time. It was the perfect time. And you as a little one absorbed that energy. Different things happened in your life where you began to believe that you were not dearly loved. I want you to say to yourself now, or out loud if you wish, that all of those times when you were convinced you were unloved, I want you to see them before you, and I want you to declare, those are illusions. Those times that seemed that I was not loved was an illusion. Those times that seemed I was not loved are lies. They are falsehoods. Because the truth is that I am dearly beloved. I am beloved by people who do not care or know how to show their love to me. But I am beloved by those I cannot see. Amma and Abba, my angels and my guides, the ascended masters who are with you, those you call upon. It is humanity who has told you that you are judged by your actions. It is humanity who has said that you must do certain things to be loved. Oh, perhaps you must do something to be loved by them, but that is not love. Today, May 1st, 42 minutes past the hour where you are. Everything that is in the past and that happened to you is in the past. And all you need to do is to go into your heart and to tap into the love which is there. There is this beautiful golden structure within your physical heart. Move into that heart, your physical heart, until you come to that golden structure and move into it. It is filled with love. It is golden for a reason, because it is filled with love. And you can now declare and accept from this moment, now 43 minutes past the hour on May 1st, that you are dearly beloved, and you may choose to believe that at this time. Yes, at this time. And as if all of those events that happened in your life from the moment of conception till now, no matter how old you are, that have convinced you that you are not loved, see them as things upon the table in front of you, and take your hand and brush them away. And see the golden light that is there, and say, I choose now to know and believe that this is my truth. I choose now to know and believe that every person who had anything to do with my life in any form did so from love, because we played a game. We played the game of learning how loved we were. It is hide and seek. It is a game of hide and seek. Oh, let's hide how much you were loved. Let's seek how much you were loved. It is the time of seeking is over. It is the time of standing there into the center of that love and allowing it to enfold you. If you need an image, imagine that you are sitting on a water lily that is budded tight. And now it is happening. The bud of that lily, you could see it as a rose or a lotus, an iris, is opening. And as it opens, you are in the center of it. It is hard to believe, is it not, that the only thing preventing you from knowing how loved you are is your resistance to believing how loved you are. I have a task for you today, and you can do it every day if you wish. Walk as if you know how loved you are. Feel your heart expand, knowing how loved you are. There is nothing you can do to separate yourself from our love. Now, you may decide you don't want to accept that love, or you may decide that love is not true. But I am going to tell you that that does not change the love that I have for you, that we have for you. Oh, go ahead and pull up those things that say, oh, you can't love me because of this. And I will enfold you in my arms. And I said, but I do. Not because of that, because that is not who you are. I love you because of who you are. Every time a thought comes into your mind that says, this prevents me from being loved, or this prevents me from feeling lovable, I want you to tell that thought, no, that is not true. Because I have been told by the Divine Mother herself that I am beloved. I have been told that all of those are illusions, and that I am loved as if I were the only person in the world, in the galaxy. It is called unconditional love. And you are called to love yourself unconditionally. It is a decision. Yes, you can go through healing, or you can make the decision that the wounds that you experienced are now complete, and the energy that came from those wounds is now complete, and that you can step out of those just as if you dropped all of your clothes on the ground, and you took a step out of them into the new clothes, the clothes that enfolded you with love. And the more you do this, the more you detach yourself from that belief that you are not worthy of love, that you are not beloved. The more you do this, the more you accept the truth. That's what this is. This is to accept the truth that you are love and you are beloved. The more you accept that, the more you deny that all of those things you have been trained for decades are illusion and not true. The more love that comes into you, and the more you are able to love. Why do people not believe they are lovable? Because they believe people who do not know the truth. They believe people who do not know the truth of who it is that the one who is lying is, for one thing, and the one who is receiving the lies. It is time to walk upon this planet in your glory. It is the glory inherent within you. It is the glory that is you. It is the glory that comes from your creation. It is the glory that we see you as. Be that glory. Be that love. And wipe away every thought that is contrary to that. And step by step, walk as one who is loved. Step by step, walk as one who exudes love. Step by step, walk as one who knows who Amma and Abba are, and that you can come in at any time into our kitchen, into our living room, into my womb, into Abba's heart, and rest. And take a cookie while you're there, or perhaps you like ice cream. Know that we are there to nurture you. And know that we know that there are times you need to rest in love, because it becomes difficult to not believe the falsehoods which are told by many. And why do people give those falsehoods? Because they believe them about themselves. And as you come to recognize and walk and realize that you are filled with love and that you are dearly beloved, they will be confused. However, love them. Love you. All of that love at the beginning of my talk that I had you gather around you, all that love that you have for others, that is your love. And there is more, because there is more from those who have given you love. Rest in that love. Be that love, because you are that love. Recognizing this love is literally a decision. Abba and I have no decision to make about loving you. We never had to make a decision that you were lovable or not. That is why your name is carved on the palms of our hands, are carved within our hearts. Open your heart now, and they have been opening as we have been giving this message. Open your heart now and receive that love. You may ask for it if you do not think it is there, and we will laugh as we give it to you. And what we do when we give it to you is to gather all the love that is already around you and that is within you, and we put it in a nice bundle and say, here, you have forgotten this. Take it now. And allow that love to spread throughout your entire energy system. And every time you doubt, declare that doubt is not true. And every time someone else says or does something which implies that you are not love, just remind them that they are mistaken and that they are love as well. Oh, dear ones, how I hold you in my heart, protect you within my womb. How I love you. And this is Kathy. You know, I have people sometimes will send me a note and say, I know that that message that Amma gave is just for me. And I'm going to say, I know that message that Amma gave is just for me and for all of us. If you wish to unmute yourself and say goodbye to everyone, wish everybody a good
Kathy?
week, please do that. Yes.
It's Michelle, and I have one question I really would like to ask Alma. Recently going through the grief.
I can't hear. There's something happening that I can't hear.
Yeah, I'm choking up. Going through the grief that I'm going through, the loss of my husband. I'm just wondering, how does our soul react? This is the physical consciousness, I'm aware of that, but how does my soul or our soul react to all of this?
You know, your connection with Joe and those who have lost loved ones is a soul connection. And so in one way, your soul self knows that he is back home and connects with him. It is the part within you that is missing him so much. And those that we have loved who we are missing so much. So on the soul self side, we're aware that they're back, that he's back. The human side.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the human side is the one that misses him so much, as the soul side knows that he is back home.
Right. That's where we get our comfort when it comes with those thoughts. Then it comes from the soul, just not from the consciousness we have, but from our deep subconscious. I guess.
Correct. And then you have, as long as you're living, as long as your children and grandchildren are living and they remember their father, their grandfather, he will be there loving them, just as he's there loving you.
Thank you. And that's kind of what I thought, but I thought, well, I'll ask anyway.
No, it's a good
Thank you.
question. Anyone else? Okay, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful week.
Thank you. You too. God bless you.
God bless you. Bye.
Happy
Bye.
May Day.
Happy May Day.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye, Cleo. Happy May Day.
Bye. Love to all.